Star Stable has done the funniest thing this morning, and by funny I mean slightly tragic. So if you've not been keeping up on their social media, and I don't blame you, it's kind of terrible, there has been a lot of backlash in the comments about Star Stable releasing the hearing aids. Now before I even get into any of that, I just want to say that representation matters so much. I am extremely excited for the deaf and hard of hearing community to have devices in-game that help them feel more like them. The accessories are not for other people to see. They are for the person wearing them to feel represented in this game, and that is incredibly powerful. It is the same thing about having natural hairstyles, different body types, different skin tones. All of that is so that people can feel like them in the game, and anything that Star Stable adds to make people feel more connected to their character is a good thing. It's just also extremely valuable in a time like this, especially if you live in America, because all of our differences should be seen, appreciated, and celebrated. So if you were one of those people yesterday who were bashing the addition of hearing aids in preference of Star Stable adding different content or more visible content, shame on you. Not cool. But why I think that their announcement today makes it extra funny and extra tragic is that all of the people who were complaining about Star Stable adding too little of a feature or something that's not visible, and why aren't they focusing on quests and new areas? Why aren't they doing things to their game? Well, they just announced a huge project that has been going on behind the scenes, giving us confirmation of expectations, and it's a big one. And it's something we've been asking for a really long time. So yeah, Star Stable is working on the things that they've all been complaining about. And instead, they've just proved that they are unapologetically ableist. Anyways, hey friends, it's UrsulasRevenge, and we're going to be talking about this blog post today. Now, I know that another kind of issue in this community is not a whole lot of people actually read the blog posts. I've always been such a big advocate of people reading the blog posts because a lot of the frustrations that come with being a fan of Star Stable is not really knowing what is going on, not knowing what the plan is for the developers. And the blog post is where they share that insight. Not always. And yeah, a lot of the times we have droughts in between months for different reasons. Sometimes they can't always share what they're working on for their own reasons. But September's a good one. And even if I say, hey, you should read September's blog post, not a whole lot of people do. So this time, I'm gonna read it to you, just to make sure that everybody is absolutely clear about what has been posted in this blog post. This one article that I'm going to get into is so well written in a way that it really does not leave anything up for assumption. It is very clear, it is very direct, and I appreciate that so much. Because with how direct Stacey Place is in writing this, it leaves little room for confusion and disappointment. And I'm so excited to talk about it. Okay, and to keep you guys engaged, I'm gonna put some training content over this, so it's gonna be like, your Subway Surfers while you listen. So the September game blog is titled Marchenghast, Halloween, and Tech Update. And we're gonna talk about Marchenghast first. This article is written by game director Stacey Place. Hey gang, Stacey here. I'm not great at keeping secrets, and I want you all to know what we are hard at work on at the moment. I'm really proud of the team so far and excited to share this early update with you. Earlier this year, I shared that we are working on a new area of the game and even included a sneaky picture with the exact location. Some of you were able to guess exactly where I was and a bit about the theme as well, Marchenghast Castle. Discussions began last year about opening up the area to players. Initially, our thoughts mirrored many players, that clearly this was a spot to relocate the medieval content, right? We weighed our options. We could devote our efforts to moving all existing medieval content over to the new place with little time to include anything new, or we could do something more, something slightly different. And of course, the team desperately wanted to get creative and explore what Marchenghast Castle could be all on its own. The directors buckled down and figured out what sort of expectations we had for this project, the experience, the aesthetic, the story we wanted to tell. We continued these discussions in our IP group, which is a constellation of people closely tied to the world of Jorvik. In that group, we're currently reviewing our IP Bible, page by page, as a part of a much-needed review of the stories of Jorvik. However, for some time, our focus was specifically on Marchenghast. We identified a few themes that we wanted to incorporate into our project brief, which would then be used to guide upcoming brainstorming sessions and workshops with larger groups. I won't go into detail to avoid giving too much away. I am prone to doing that. Beasts and creatures, witches or nobles, meaningful exploration and progression, engaging lore that ties to the existing world. Things evolved and changed as we continued working, but one overarching theme remained. We wanted this area to be darker. It was now up to the broader group to figure out what exactly that meant in the world of Star Stable Online. From this point, we brought on more and more people to the project. We held multiple workshops focusing on various areas such as narrative, story, and lore, game design and gameplay, environmental art, and storytelling. The workshops have been enjoyable and inspiring, especially as we're planning gameplay ideas that are unique to the specific area. Workshops and discussions will continue as the project shifts from investigation to pre-production once everyone returns from their summer vacations. I'm writing this significantly in advance. We believe we have fantastic foundation for the overall Marchenghast experience that those working on the project will have a lot of fun bringing this to life for players. So while I am really struggling not to give you too many spoilers for Marchenghast, I do want to set expectations correctly. We have dreamed big, and scoping down was, and will continue to be, needed. One thing we already know is that this project will focus on the exterior of the castle and the area surrounding it, not the interior at this time. We have ideas for the inside of the castle, but the outside has evolved into a vast and enticing endeavor on its own, so we believe that it is a good way to divide the project. We aim to deliver a complete and fulfilling experience, and adding a castle interior would spread us way too thin, undoubtedly hindering the initial outcome. Hopefully one day in the future, we'll get to venture inside the castle too. A key point to note, the area we are creating is not in any way small. The footprint of the castle grounds is city-sized, and we are reclaiming and creating land to accommodate the blighted forest as well. Wait, did I say blighted? Moving on. Finally, the release date. This has been a soft deadline project with an updated expectation to release February 2026. Could that change? Yes. I want to be clear on this because these changes in releases always come with some level of disappointment. That's one of the risks of sharing something so early. There's still plenty of time for change. Ultimately, we strive for a great delivery, happy players, and a healthy experience for the project team. Well, while the team starts gearing up to dive into production, I've got my eyes set on plotting the next adventure. I'm bundling up in warmer clothes and riding down a rickety elevator to a land of ice and snow. Hopefully anyway, because again, I'm probably saying too much, too early, and plans can and do change. Thanks for the time and enjoy your adventure beyond the gates of Marchenghast. Okay, so lots to break down here, but I think it was really, really important to actually fully read that article to you. So first up, Marchenghast coming probably February 2026, which is extremely exciting. To reiterate, this is a soft deadline project. They will flex as needed, so if they need more time, it will take more time. But hopefully we can still expect it sometime in 2026. Now, as far as the theming and expectations for the castle, community did think that Marchenghast Castle would have been a better place for the medieval area. I can see that given the theming. However, I am more excited that in addition to what we have with the medieval area, we're getting something else in addition. So instead of them just moving the medieval area, which is honestly fine where it is, we are getting an entirely new experience just based on the history of Marchenghast, which is very exciting to me. I'm also excited that the theming is going to be darker than what we're used to on Jorvik. As someone who just really loves Halloween and kind of like occult culture, I can see Marchenghast kind of being a place for like pre-Halloween parties before Galloper's Keep opens. But also just like a darker witch faction would also just be really cool. We kind of get that a little bit with the Valas, but we don't have a place where we can just generally interact with the Vala like we can the Druids of Valedale. What we can expect with the release of Marchenghast Castle is an updated area around the castle and the exterior of the castle. We're not going inside the castle like we do with Silverglade Castle. I'm not sure if that means we'll have access to the courtyard. I'm hoping that we do, but I don't know if that's being interpreted as the interior. They do have concept artwork of the courtyard, though they do mention that the footprint of the castle grounds itself is city-sized, so I think the castle grounds includes the courtyard. It's just maybe not the inside of the castle itself. Fort Moria is probably a closer example of what they mean to the interior of the castle versus Silverglade Castle, because that's technically still accessible without a loading screen. Another note that I want to talk about is their reviewing of the IP Bible page by page. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that there's like a lore book, because I know that this is like kind of like a Star Stable rumor that like they lost the lore book. But it does confirm that they are aware of the story that they have told and what they want to tell. They're not just reviewing the lore of Marchenghast Castle, but also just the general lore of Jorvik and how it ties into the world that they're building. So they have not lost the plot. They're being mindful of the plot, which is really exciting to have confirmation about that. In fact, creating engaging lore for Marchenghast Castle that ties into the existing world around it is one of their main goals. So it's reassuring to see that that is their plan. They also mentioned focusing on meaningful exploration and progression. So I feel like we could have like a darker Hollow Woods up here on this side of the map, which would be really exciting. That would kind of be like your exploration and progression. I mean, we don't know if there's going to be something like Paths of Magic like we have in Valedale, if that's what they mean by progression, if they mean more so a progressing quest line. Either way, implying progression implies content. And I don't know how many more times I can say I'm excited about this without it kind of losing its meaning, but I am very excited. I like the thought that they're putting into this, and I just, not that I can't wait, I can wait. I mean, it's only around the corner, but all the sketches that they're providing also just fills me with joy. I'm so giddy. They've also confirmed that there are teams working on narrative, story, and lore, game design and gameplay, environmental art, and storytelling. So I have hopes that this isn't going to be just kind of a bland addition. This is going to be well thought out. This is going to be narrative and content heavy. And maybe we'll also see some interesting new gameplay features as well. They also shared this creature that kind of looks like, I mean, I don't know what it's actually, but it's kind of looking like a werebat. It looks like it could be like a mounted creature. It's like a were turtle bat. I'm obsessed with him. I don't know if he's going to be included, what he is, but I love him. He's just so cute. He's just a cute little bog monster. And finally, to wrap up this section of the article, we have eyes set towards Dino Valley next. Now, obviously, we have to get through Marchenghast first, and it took them long enough to get here, but it is nice that after Marchenghast is finished, we could potentially be looking at a Dino Valley update sometime in the future. So all in all, very exciting stuff coming to the Golden Leaves area of Jorvik. We're getting a darker, mystical, bog-type haunted forest, lore surrounding Marchenghast Castle, being able to access the area around it, and just so like storytelling. I'm so excited. I can't even explain why I'm excited. I love the way that this game expands on their lore. I'm excited to have a darker area in Star Stable that's kind of like witch focused. The vibes, according to the concept art, are immaculate, and I'm just so excited about it. There's no other adjective I can use. Anyways, that was not the only article that was mentioned in this blog post. We also have some vague hints as to what is coming for the Halloween festival, since it looks like we might be getting some new content changes for that as well. Now, this article is written more storytelling, more narratively, because it is written by the junior narrative designer. So I will paraphrase this one, but there are 3 things that we can look forward to coming new to the Halloween festival this year. The first one is a continuation of Galloper Thompson's storyline. That direct quote is, "Oh, Galloper? Yeah, I've been working with his content. He's getting an expansion to his story where he goes," and then it cuts off. So we are getting an expansion to Galloper Thompson's storyline. We are also getting new functionality and features with the cauldron at the heart of the keep. And it seems like there's going to be some sort of potion brewing mechanic. That direct quote is, "Huh? You're so weird. Whatever, did you get those texts for the potion brewing done yet? We want to get started with the playtesting on the new cauldron feature." So that's confirmed. And the last one is a little bit vague. This one I will read direct and we can just dissect it a little bit or theorize about it. "Falling through internal servers, rummaging through design documents, even peering in the dusty kitchen corners. You'd be surprised at what you'd find in a stained coffee cup. Then I spotted it, in the text files, submitted by Ella. Wait, what? This can't be right. First pass done. Ella, I'm so sorry, I'm not going to pronounce your last name. Feedback added, Ella. Final, actually this time, V.2 pass. Ella. Logs of text submissions? What have I done? The horrifying truth began to sink in. My own name staring back at me from the depths of the submission logs. My involvement on the Halloween mysteries has been greater than anyone could have ever thought. Oh God, I have to get out of here. I was never here. You never saw me. They'll never take me alive." And that's where the quote ends. It's actually where the whole blog post ends. So it looks like we might be getting new narrative for the quest as well. I'm not sure at what capacity. It just seems like the author of this blog post, Ella, who is, again, junior narrative designer, has submitted new text documents. I'm not a developer, so I don't know exactly what that means, but it seems like we might just be getting some new narrative around Gallopers Keep. And finally, the last part of this month's blog post is a tech update on game freezes. If you are using a PC, you might have experienced some freezing. You might have clocked it as lag, but apparently there is an issue with Intel GPUs, and they have been working with Intel to try and figure out what exactly the issue is, and it seems like it's an outdated Intel driver. So if you are playing on PC with a GPU that still receives updates by Intel, make sure to update your drivers. There is help links in the blog post. I will link the blog post in the description. You can scroll on down to the bottom to get the links and access it. But if you are able to update your drivers, make sure to do that using the support link that they provided in the blog post. And hopefully that should fix the freezing that we are seeing on PC. Unfortunately, because there are devices that are no longer supported by Intel or their vendors in general, they have updated the minimum specs requirements. So if your computer does not meet these requirements, you may continue to experience technical issues that they are unable to resolve. So you'll still be able to play Star Stable, you just might experience graphic interruptions. So that was a doozy of a blog post. I am so excited for the changes that are happening this year and then the beginning of next year. I'm excited to get to experience some changes in Gallopers Keep. I'm of course excited for Marchenghast Castle. I've said this many times. We've got, I guess it's technically 2 weeks, because next week we have an update, something about stars over the fields. I've got 3 schools of thoughts on this. I don't know which one's going to be true. So I guess a little bonus theory. Theory 1 is going to be a new daily with Mario that we can do every day. That's just about being able to find stars around. Theory 2, it's a temporary, like 1 week only quest, like they did the treasure hunt with Bob and Rob. That's my least favorite possibility, to be completely honest with you. Just because, like, why bother putting in the effort for something that's not going to be permanent? So I'm hoping not, but for some reason that vibe did cross my mind yesterday when I was reading the news post. And the third one is maybe they're going to add to the hidden star collection and add hidden stars to areas that there aren't any stars. I don't know. I've completed my star collection, so I'll give me more in the collection. I'll finish it. So we won't know more about that until next week when the update actually releases, but those are my 3 running theories. I've also seen people speculate that it'd be really cool if Mario got a visual update, like we did get for Dorothy Jarlson, especially since he, I don't think, has custom animations. It shouldn't be like as complicated as updating Justin was, or us updating Jasper would be. But anyways, no confirmations, just food for thought. But then yes, the week after that will be probably the start of the Halloween festival on October 8th. So exciting stuff. That is all I have for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video like this. I do try to cover every Wednesday update and more. And I will see you all tomorrow for a roleplay video. Bye!